Hey, creative spirits, welcome to another series. Today, I'm going to talk about the singing part of music. I really enjoyed this session. So let's jump right in. So what we're going to cover today is, what are the benefits? Why would someone want to learn how to sing? What if someone says, I just cannot find time? Well, how much time commitment is involved? The terminology of the basics that we're going to talk about today, health and posture benefits from singing, and then we'll go into the basics. We're going to talk about breathing, your chest voice, your middle voice, your head voice. I'll give you some warm-up exercises and some practice exercises. So the benefits of singing. Here are some really good points of why you would want to spend your time learning how to sing. So first of all, it's a lot of fun and it's very entertaining. You can entertain others, but mostly it's fun on your own because all of us can sing. We just don't know it yet. So if you don't think you can, everyone can. You just got to find your voice. Secondly is you create a sense of community where you sing, you can sing around your family, your friends, and everyone joins in. It's very contagious. Thirdly, it's one of the top skills that people want to learn. A lot of people want to learn this just like another language. It also improves your posture, forces you to sit up straight. It reminds you how important that is. Another point is it's a conduit into other parts of music, whether you're trying to maybe learn an instrument or even compose music. Singing is a great way to even start, because I think it's pretty easy to learn. It also increases the neuroplasticity in your brain. It creates what's called myelin, which is the fatty tissue around your neuron cells that help the increase of creativity. And then lastly, it complements your math skills, or vice versa. If you're really good at math, chances are you're going to be a wonderful musician. So what about the time commitment? Well, actually, it doesn't take a lot of time at all. In fact, don't really recommend going over an hour in a day. Even the professionals have to really limit, otherwise you'll wear out, you'll tire your vocal cords. So 2 to 5 minutes is actually a really good time to spend warming up, and you can do that in a lot of different ways. All of us probably do it anyway, whether it's in the shower or in the car, we're always singing. Or even when I started to be inspired was with my children. You can also join a choir. Maybe at your church is a good way to be integrated. If you're already doing that, you can join, and there you go. You've already been a part of something. Another great way to really pick up on this is do it while you're commuting. You can download YouTube videos or even podcasts and just listen to them and pick up on that knowledge and be able to practice in your free time. And then also you can practice your breathing at any point during the day, whether you're at work or you're doing exercising. You can incorporate it in your life in a lot of different ways. So let's move on to some of the terminology I'll talk about today, just to give you the basics. So first is vibrato. That is basically where you sing a note and you have fast and quick variations of that note. It's not really changing notes. It's just a kind of sound. And then there's what's called resonance. This is the deep, lower sound in your voice. You'll hear about that. And then a couple of things that we'll use when we're practicing is either descending or ascending major triads, or arpeggio scales. And those are basically chords that you play on the piano. I don't have it with me, but maybe upcoming I'll example those. So that really gets your pitch in tune with singing the chords. I'll give you some examples. So let's talk about your health and your posture. So obviously, as with any other activity that you're doing, health, diet, and exercise are very important if you want to be top notch. So keep those in mind. If you're really having a hard time, check, maybe there's something that you need to improve upon. Drinking water is the best for your singing, even warm water, not so much cold, because it freezes your vocal cords. And then first thing is, a lot of people when they're starting really don't know where it's at. So what you can do is hold your hand over your neck and then swallow. And you can actually feel your vocal cords right there in the middle. And that really gives you a sense of tune to where they are, and when you're singing, if they're actually going up or down, and you'll want to actually be able to control it. Also learn about your tongue. And did you know your tongue is actually the only muscle in your body that's only connected in one side? All other muscles are connected on both sides. So your tongue is a very strange muscle. And also it's connected way back here, surprisingly. So I have a tongue exercise that you can do a little bit later on. And then next is your posture. So your posture is very important. You have to remember, and actually force yourself to sit up straight. You can also do this lying down if it helps, or standing is the most optimal. But basically think of maybe a couple balloons underneath your arms and hold them out like this, and just practice going out and in. And by the way, I got a lot of these tips from, her name is Carrie Ho from the Songbird Tree, and she does an excellent job. I referenced her down in the last slide, so you can check out all of her videos. I'm just summarizing everything that I've learned from YouTube, and hopefully sharing that on so you can get you started. And then think of back to your posture. You want to make sure you're up straight, because think of it as like a kink in your hose. If your lungs or your throat or anything's bent over, you're not going to get air through, because your breathing is the most important part of your technique. And then stretching, I'll give you some stretching exercise, but stretching helps you straighten out and get your body in shape for your exercises. So let's go on to breathing. Breathing is first and the most fundamental place to start. It's 80% of your singing, and it's really a reference to the gas of your engine. You really can't go anywhere without it. So you really have to be in tune to proper breathing. And so the way to think about it is it's actually your diaphragm, and most people may even reference your gut or your lungs, and they may be part of it, but it's really most important your diaphragm. And you can find that by just going to the bottom of your ribs and holding there, and you can do some exercises. So one of the good exercises is actually expanding and collapsing by counting to 10. So count to 10 and expand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then do that and collapse to 10. And then if you get better, you can go to 20 and 30 seconds and even higher. Next is another idea that I have is you can try yoga or meditation if you already do those. And there's a box method, breathing method. And this works in a lot of parts of your life, but it really helps you focus on your breathing. It's not something we think about, but it's important. So a box method is basically where you breathe in and count to 5. You hold it, count to 5, breathe out, counting to 5, and hold it, counting to another 5. And that's basically your box. And then you repeat that 5 times. And if you get better, you can increase the time and how many times you repeat it, maybe 10, 20 seconds, or 20 times. And also the last, probably another important part that really takes practice in your breathing, and that's only breathing what you need. So it's not over breathing or gasping or under breathing. And this just really takes practice on what you're singing and when you're breathing. So that's important to remember. Okay, next, let's talk about the 3 areas of your voice. So first you have your chest voice, and then you have your head voice, and then you have a mixture of the two. So let's talk about your chest voice. So your chest voice is basically your regular speaking or your low range, and think of it as la 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 la, just your regular speaking range. And if you hold your hands right over your lungs, you can feel the vibration. So you know that that's where your chest voice is active. So a few different tips that I think are really great is it's not about pushing, it's a support. So remember down here in your diaphragm, that's supporting, you're not pushing it out. And also it's not about shouting or being loud, it's about that deep resonance. The deepness comes out of your voice. Otherwise, you'll constrict your throat and you'll sound very pitchy, and it'll move more into the head voice. So you don't want to be shouting. And one of the exercises you can do is a loud like crying. Ma 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 ma, and you do that to the chords on the piano. Let's move up to the middle voice, and the middle voice is basically the mixture of the head voice and the lower voice. And actually, let's talk about the head voice first. This is the higher range, and this is a little bit thinner, and you're actually going to get it, and you're going to feel maybe a buzz in the top of your head or in your right underneath your eyes. Here, you're going to feel that buzzing. And one of a couple exercises you can do here is a yawn. So, and that opens up your throat there and really opens a passageway for your air to get up into your head voice. So the other exercises you can do for the chords are nor, 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 nor. So you can kind of feel nor, 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 nor up here. And then whoop, 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 whoop. See how it's higher pitched? Whoop, 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 whoop. Higher pitch up there. And so back up to the middle voice. So here's kind of a mixture, and you're going in between your head voice and your chest voice. And a couple things to do is strengthen your head voice and lighten your chest voice. And you'll get the hang of this. It takes more practice because it's harder to basically exchange in between. One of the exercises for this to lower your chest voice is ba 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 ba. And also, if you're familiar with twang, wah 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 wah. So you can kind of hear the wah 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 wah. That's twang is very kind of a mixture there. All right, let's go to some warm-up exercises here. Tension is really common. So if you're at a long day at work, you're going to be really tense. So the best way if you're going to practice is just shake it off. Dance to your favorite song and just loosen up all of your muscles. Then stretch out your tongue. So I talked about this early. One way to do that is say ah, or roll your tongue around in your mouth 5 times, or the opposite way. And that'll really stretch out your tongue. So this is a good exercise. Next is called Bubbles Over the Hill, and you'll actually do it on a low. So a medium, and then a high. And then you'll start low and go all high and then down. So that's called Bubble Over the Hill. Next one is similar. It's Ring for Residence, and that's low, medium, and high, and then start low, and you can feel that in your chest, the voice there, the resonance. Next thing is performing a scale with your vowels. So as you know, in English language, you're basically singing vowels, and that's how you're changing your pitches. And if you start with the letter G, that part opens your throat, and then you use the vowels. So go, gi, ga, gu are some examples you can say. Go, 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 or gi, 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 gi. Next is lazify your jaw, because your jaw has a lot of tension. You'll be using that a lot. So what you do there is just similar to like what if you're a drunk, you would just say blah, 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 blah. And you just let your tongue hang and your jaw hang. Blah, 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 blah. And the next one is more for your head voice. And this is called Opera Over the Hill. And it's like a siren. It's going to go high. And you're going to hear that ing sound. So, like, and then you'll bring it back down. Or, so that one's called Opera the Hill. All right, so practice. So like I said earlier, I found a good YouTube instructor or coach. Her name was Carrie Ho on the Songbird Tree. Just find someone you like that's similar-minded, that you understand, because you're going to repeat and listen to these over and over and over. So if you find someone annoying, chances are you're going to stop listening. But if you find someone entertaining, they're really going to help you along their way. Next is really go along with the scales that they teach you. If you jump right into a really hard song, you're going to get discouraged and maybe even quit. but I encourage you to start with the basics and do these scales that I just talked about, because those are really going to help you get to the next level. And next is find an artist in your range. Like for me, the Beatles is a really easy one to practice with, rather than maybe singing, opera, for example. I'm not going to hit those notes right away, but over time you're going to increase your octaves and your range. And also, who doesn't love to sing Happy Birthday? People will join in. It's a good one universally to try. So lastly, here's my reference for a lot of the content. So I hope you found this useful. And please comment on the video if you have any questions. I'd love to hear your feedback if you found this helpful. And hopefully, happy singing.